Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Unlocked, the Ricky Lock podcast. Before I kick off this episode, I just want to share a quick message with you. For all of the UK listeners out there right now, you're probably quite aware of the recent announcement about the next 4 weeks of lockdown. And whilst this might seem like an incredibly difficult time, remember that we can't really control this, we can't do anything about it. But what we can choose to do is to control how we respond and how we behave. How we choose to embrace the next 4 weeks and how we respond will determine how successful we are and the outcome of our business after the lockdown. And whilst I know this isn't easy for everybody, if you do feel like you're going to be struggling over the next couple of weeks and you'd like to just reach out and chat to someone, please feel free to get in touch via my social media or at info@rickylock.co.uk. In this episode, I talked to two amazing ladies, Katie and Roxy, about how they built a tribe in the wedding industry supplier network. And I think community is so important right now. You're not alone, and we can get through this. We've got through it before, and we'll get through this again. But I think you're going to really enjoy this episode because Katie and Roxy started this huge tribe in the wedding industry supplier network, and it's created this massive community full of love and full of business support. And since recording this episode, Katie and Roxy have both released an ebook that you can purchase from their website. It's all about using social media to grow your business. To grab a copy, head to the show notes and find the link where you can purchase and download your ebook. As always, thank you for your continued support. I really do appreciate it, and I hope that you enjoy this episode. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Unlocked, the Ricky Lock podcast with me, Ricky Lock, the podcast that is here to help inspire success in your business and your life. And today we have two amazing women, Katie and Roxy, two amazing entrepreneurs, actually, from the Wedding Industry Supplier Network. Hello, how are you both?
Hi.
Good to see you. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I can't wait for this conversation.
I'm excited. Yeah,
brilliant.
That's a really lovely introduction, wasn't it? That's one of the best.
You can have that if you like for your website. I don't mind. I won't charge you for that. You can have that if you like.
Yeah.
But it is lovely to see you, and some of the conversation that we'll talk about, I think a lot of people listening to this will relate to you, especially in terms of what our business is. But for everybody listening who doesn't know who you are you and what do you do?
Okay, so I'm Katie. This is my voice, everybody. And I'm one half of the Wedding Industry Supplier Network with the wonderful Roxy. And
hello, everybody. This is my voice.
And we bring wedding business owners together to support one another in events all around the world, in person and online. And we also bring us together for training.
We do. We have a huge online community of over 10,000 wedding professionals. And like Katie was saying, we do kind of virtual training and also in-person training. But for us, it's all about bringing the industry together.
I like that. Yeah, very nice. And what a time as well to bring people together. Absolutely really important. I love that. I think one of the things is to know as well, I think both of you had separate businesses before collaborating. Is that right?
So kind of. So what happened was I actually worked for Katie. So she was my boss way back when. And we had a bridal shop. Well, Katie had a bridal shop.
Yeah.
And I was the shop manager.
Yeah, so just kind of take it back to how kind of TWISN, that's kind of how people started to kind of refer to us as TWISN, kind of was born, was that I had a wedding business way back in kind of like almost 10 years ago. And as part of that, I started a business right literally from the bottom up. So I had this idea about opening an affordable bridal wear shop. Way back kind of 10 years ago, that wasn't kind of as much of a thing really. And that came about from me being a stay-at-home mum. I was getting married and I spotted kind of a gap in the market for wedding dresses that were of a more affordable price but still high quality. Right, yeah. And 10 years ago there wasn't really anything out there apart from you could buy something on eBay, which wasn't like
great customer service.
It wasn't, yeah, and wasn't really what
a bride would want.
They want the experience of going into a shop and having and being made to feel like the most important kind of person at the most important time of their life, the happiest time of their life. So I actually started my business from home online and then got a shop, and then very quickly once I got a shop, it was as I kind of was opening the doors, I thought I'm going to need somebody else here because I'm going to be running all of the appointments and I need somebody to kind of answer the phone and I need somebody to kind of pick up the emails and all of that sort of thing. And then in came Roxy.
Roxy. And that is how we met. And I think, well, for me anyway, from the get-go, I was like, she is my kind of person. Like, you know, we just click, we just find the yin to your yang.
Nice. Very good.
And it's funny actually, like people will probably relate, like, you know, it was the business was called House of Oliver. We were and I had a little bridal shop, and I was the sole person of my business, that I was the person running everything from the customers to the marketing to everything kind of behind the scenes. And Roxy came on board at the beginning to kind of just work a Saturday, didn't you? And then very quickly in the business, as probably lots of people that are listening can probably relate to, you kind of realise that you can't do everything yourself. And as kind of I got busier and busier and busier, one of the things I kind of learnt was, you know, Roxy was very willing and keen and wanted to be a part of what we were building, and very much into the industry, weren't you? And very much passionate about what we were trying to do at House of Oliver, to kind of give you that more responsibility, weren't you?
And delegate things a little bit more, to almost kind of takes the pressure off you a little bit. But actually, think about it, was that hard?
1,000%
to pass over the baton and say, there you go.
1,000%. And I think a lot of people find that. But what's been great is that from right at the beginning of building my wedding business, from when I got the premises and the shop, Roxy's been there by my side. So we've kind of done that. You know, lots of people think, oh, we actually had, it was my business, if you like, but obviously Roxy built it with me. Like,
and breathed House of Oliver as much as you,
Yeah, 1,000%. And then the Wedding Industry Supply Network came about, kind of fast forward 4 years. We then had a team of staff underneath us. Roxy was working full-time managing that team of staff. And we just found this need in the industry for a place where wedding suppliers would be able to kind of network with one another. Like, it's so important for business owners in whatever industry business owners are in, for so many reasons.
Yeah, definitely.
But even just on a marketing level, to have other people around them to recommend clients to, for you to kind of share a client base, because lots of business owners are in a location, and other business owners are chatting to your ideal client at the same time as you're chatting to that person. So it's good to have, you know, business cards to hand, and people like your tribe, who you would recommend your clients to, because that comes back on, it's a reflection of you when you're recommending. And we found there wasn't really anywhere.
There was like a huge gap of how you could meet other suppliers. So you could go to wedding fairs, but what were you there to do? You were there to talk to brides, not other suppliers.
And clients. And brides and grooms and people getting married. And there was this time, and you were there focused on marketing your business. And I would kind of run round, wouldn't I?
Wouldn't you? Yeah.
And I was lucky I had a team of staff. So I had 5 girls working the fair for me. And Roxy was managing that team. And I'd run round and go and say, hi, I'm Katie. While everyone's having a bacon sandwich. But it almost
yes, I know that feeling,
it almost gets forgotten about, because, you know, then at the end of the wedding fair, you've got to go away and you're concentrating on your leads that come into the business, rightly so. And we also found, didn't we, that we had a physical premises. So when you have a physical premises, quite often people would come in, drop in and say, oh, hi, like, and we saw it, people wanted to come and network with us. And as lovely as that was, it was taking us away from our business, and we understood as well that was taking those people away from their businesses. So we wanted to create an environment in order for people to be able to come to a place or go to a space online, ask the questions they needed to ask, network, find the tribe and the people that they wanted to work with, to collaborate with for style shoots or photographers, or
they might have a little bit of an issue or something that, you know, they wanted to talk to another supplier that was similar about.
And it's there when you need it. And the other thing that, you know, has kind of come about from what we've kind of done is that, gosh, you know, we have made so many mistakes in a business. You know, you start a business and there isn't really a trail map out there, like, in terms of for the industry, or there wasn't really anything at the level that a small business needs it to be at, you know, when you're starting your business and, you know, money is tight and resources and time is precious to you. Investing quite a lot of money is a bit of a hurdle for businesses to kind of get over. And what we kind of provide is that kind of middle ground, don't we, where people can kind of accessible education, accessible resources. We do lots and lots of training, lots of similar to what you kind of do, Ricky, like chat to a lot of people, network to a lot of people, and just a place for people to kind of come, learn what they want to learn, and then if they want to invest, and take it a little bit further, the opportunity is there for them to do that. They can come and network in our online spaces, in our online communities, and at our events. And at our events, we put on so much training, don't we?
We do, yeah. Also, it's a really nice space, you know, our community online and in person, because it can be very, very lonely, kind of running your own business. I suppose that we were quite lucky in that we had a team of staff, but quite a lot of, you know, small businesses are one-person bands, and you can't do everything and you can't know everything, and that is okay. But we're kind of here to help and guide people through, you know, the right kind of direction to take the social medias, you know, the marketing and all those kinds of things as well.
And for them to just talk to other people. It is about that, isn't it? Like, gosh, we're the first to kind of make, like, we also don't know everything, but we never have claim to. And what we think that there is power in people. There is power in people because there is, and we have definitely seen it at this time.
Yeah.
There is help and positivity out there, and
100%.
that's really what we are here to do. I'm super passionate about doing, because we have never claimed we've got all the answers to solve everybody's issues, but what we can do is, here's a little bit of guidance as to how we can you know, turn that dial and turn up your social media, or help you on your website a little bit, or
these are all things that we have learned and probably
really struggled with at some point in the past.
So why not help others?
Be in a room with like-minded people and sharing your experiences. Absolutely. Yeah.
And when I was a wedding supplier as well in the business, because we did move and start doing this about full-time about 18 months ago, wasn't it? This was getting so big that we made the decision. It was so amazing, but really scary. Was that I wanted to learn from other people inside of the industry. Yes, there were networking events out there. Yes, there was training out there for other businesses and other business owners. But I wanted to kind of learn from people who had been in the same experience and in the same industry that we worked in.
Yeah.
And had the same sort of challenges as in terms of, you know, seasonal calendars and seasonal years. And that's what I kind of found, that yes, I did networking. Yes, I also went and worked with business mentors, and you have as well in the past. And quite a lot of the time, I felt like I was explaining the wedding industry over and over to people, 100%. And, you know, explaining how our client works and the psychology of how our client works. And this is where this kind of came from for us, wasn't it? A massive, massive passion project, and we're so passionate and really lucky that we get to work with such amazing people every single day.
So nice.
It is such a you know, it's such a wonderful community, isn't it? Because you know, for us having that opportunity to be there for someone's special day, all the suppliers in the wedding industry are genuinely nice people because they want to give to someone this wonderful feeling. So what better way to be in a room with, like you said, like-minded people? I really like the idea of this culture that you've created, because, which I'm sure you're going to share in a second, is that this isn't, for anyone listening who doesn't know what Katie Roxy does, this isn't just a local thing in like a town. This is across the whole of the UK.
And the world.
And the world, sorry. Oh, international. Sorry, I got it wrong.
We are international. Yes, we are.
International. And, you know, this culture where people feel like they can have value, they belong. You know, like if you go on holiday and you, I remember when I was a kid, my mum would say, oh, we're going to go on a holiday. I just want to get away from it. Oh, I've had enough. I just want to get away. And then you go on holiday, and then the first person you see is someone from your town. You go, you're from Peterborough? Oh, no way. And then you become friends with them. And it's weird, isn't it? Because I think there's that whole thing, or someone from the UK, you say, oh, you're from the UK? Oh my God, that's amazing. So are we. But it's because people want to feel part of something, they belong. And that's what you guys have created, that wonderful atmosphere where I can go sit in a room with a like-minded individual that knows my business in and out, or shared experiences. And I think you said it really, really well. There's a couple of things that we've mentioned before. And I think you said it really well on your website, is that self-employment is a very lonely job. But having that environment before TWISN, I can't even think of anywhere where, I mean, I've done it. I was sat in a networking meeting. I said, and they say, hello, what are you? I'm a professional magician. And then you go around the room and say, yeah, I'm an accountant, I'm a plumber, I'm a doctor.
Yeah, exactly right.
I just do not fit in this room. They have no idea what I do.
Yeah, Rick, we're so glad that you brought that point up, because this word networking really scares people, and we get it because it also made us feel really uncomfortable as well. Like, we sat in the room and was like, oh, hi, yeah, I work in the wedding industry, and you almost, like you say,
you're almost on a back foot right there, because you might not get the industry, or they're just not creative.
Like, like-minded people at 1000%, but also as well, like in terms of networking is part of a marketing strategy, and you're there as well, yes, to meet like-minded individuals, but to also, exactly what you were saying about hunting in packs and getting to know your people, is that we recommend people that we like. And, you know, if we meet a plumber at one of these events and then we need a plumber and we're like, oh yeah, I know a plumber, or somebody else.
Yeah.
And this is happening in our industry every single day.
Yeah.
You know, we're chatting to clients. Clients are saying, oh, do you know a magician? Do you know a venue stylist?
Yeah.
And at the networking events that we were going to, yes, we might be able to learn a little bit about something or somebody in the room, but we didn't feel like we were walking away with kind of any leads or any business or that sort of thing. And there is a point where you can give, but also networking is marketing and is part of a marketing strategy as well. This is why this was needed for our industry, that we wanted people to be able to go to somewhere, get everything that you've just said, fit in, but also be able to walk away with some business or you know, oh, now I know a florist, or an opportunity, you know, for a style shoot or something to kind of come about from that time spent outside your business.
Yeah, and you see this, don't you, at wedding fairs, because at the end of the wedding fair, you see, I mean, like, especially where I've been to them, at the end, you know, when you say goodbye to everyone, it's generally like they're really sad. Oh my God, you know, you're my friend. I'm not going to see you now until the next wedding fair. And you see people, you know, and they go, oh, how are you? How's your business? And it's just a wonderful atmosphere to be a part of. I remember doing like the first one, and it was just so nice to be part of this culture. Like, oh my God, this is someone that's genuinely interested in what I do. Yeah, that's a wonderful community. So I love that you've created this amazing international, not just UK, but international culture, a community, which I think is really, really important. And for people who are listening who aren't just in the wedding industry, this is something that is something that you could do. Like, you know, go check out their stuff. We'll put some links into the show notes to check out more of Katie and Roxy's work. Just by creating that little place, an atmosphere, a culture where you can go talk to like-minded people is so important. We were saying before this started about the idea of control. You know, someone said to me, I'm going to credit her name again if she's listening, then Bev, I love you, Bev, because you're so wonderful. She said about how the control that you have in a PAYE job or a business, and that is a very lonely role to be in self-employment. But if you're working in a PAYE job, you're always in the control of someone else. You don't have that control. Where in a business, you have complete control of how successful you want to be. It's, you know, like sharing with like-minded people, that whole mountain, which is so desirable. It's so hard, that bloody mountain climbing up as a self-employed business with that up and down coaster. But as soon as you get to the top, those views are so desirable. It's lovely. And I think that's great that you create that place where people can come and talk and say, yeah, do you know what? I'm really finding it hard. Or do you know what? I need this. I'd like to do a styled shoot. I've never done one before. Yeah. What do I need to do? Oh, great. I can help you. And then you find out people, oh yeah, I live down the road from you. No way. Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
The amount of people, you know, once you get, who knows what's going to happen once you start having a conversation with someone. And that's what I love the most, is that, you know, you go to one of our meetings, it's local people to you. Like,
and actually,
you do anything you want to do.
I love the word that you said, culture. And, you know, like you said, it started out like this little idea.
It's a tiny seed.
And we don't quite often step back and look at it in that way, because we do run this company and we run this business.
We're climbing that mountain.
We're climbing that mountain as well. But it makes us feel really proud and really happy that, you know, people really get the culture, because this hasn't been just two people that it started out as a little idea, and within 4 weeks we'd already grown massively, with suppliers that were like, yes, this is what we need, this is what we want. And we're actually based in the East Midlands. That's where we're based.
Oh, whereabouts are you based?
We're kind of like Derby, Nottingham.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, not too far away then from me. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where we're actually based. And we kind of started this chat with some of the suppliers, and people were like, yes, I need this in where I am, I need this where I am. So within 4 weeks of our community being born and this idea being born, we had meetings in London, Essex, Kent, Sussex, so right in Chester.
Yeah.
We were kind of already talking to Ireland. And we were like, wow, okay, this is needed. And that's where we had to make that decision. It was kind of 3 months in. So we were running House of Oliver as well as running the Wedding Supply Network.
As well as being mums, partners, you know,
of course,
daughters.
All of that sort of thing. And that was a scary moment, wasn't it? To kind of think, right, okay, wow. And we were right. It wasn't just that we were doing this. We were also lots of wedding professionals were like, okay, wow, like you've been able to build this so like, and to us, it came really naturally to us. We used exactly the same strategies that we were using in our wedding business every single day. And this is what wedding suppliers really wanted and needed, and still do want and need, is the tools. The tools are out there in business, and they just sometimes need to look at it in a different way. We're very much part of that culture in terms of like, you know, knowledge. We believe like knowledge is power, like knowledge, like, and sometimes it's just about, and people were starting to ask us, weren't they? How do you do that? How have you created this community? Like, how can I implement something in my business so I can see the same sort of results? And that's how our kind of resource library came about. And we were like, right, okay, let's show you exactly how we have done it in terms of our wedding business. When we, you know, you talk about this for this business, we used exactly the same strategies in our bridal shop business, and we used to have people tune in from the other side of the world to watch us do Facebook Live videos selling wedding dresses. We were doing Facebook Live videos selling wedding dresses, and we would be chatting to our audience. This is 3 years ago now.
Yes. So we used to do like #Friday Bride. We would have people wanting, like, booking in months in advance to come and model our dresses for our Facebook Lives.
And then we would
create a real hype around it.
We would like have a show that we would do every Friday on a specific time, and we would have people watching from the other side of the world and sharing our videos from the other side of the world, and we remember it. And like we say, it's still crazy to us, but we would the day where we thought, we need to go and put some makeup on before we do these shows.
I think we need a new wardrobe. But kind of the whole point of part of what we do now is that the things we learned there, we weren't doing anything special, or we haven't like learned any, like, you know, we didn't go to university or learn anything special. We just have learned it ourselves. And if we can learn it and implement it in our business, we can help other people do that as well.
I love that. Yeah, I think that you can find a lot of like people where you kind of like fake it till you make it, don't you? So you do things because of other people, of what they seem like, the perception of what they're doing. I'll copy that. And then you find, well, that doesn't work. And you've kind of got to be in a like-minded environment to learn from that. I think one of the interesting things here is to understand that, you know, that whole culture thing you've created. There's a great phrase that my, an old mentor of mine used to say to me, which was, not a phrase, it's a true thing. There's this big convention in America that happens every year, and it's for vloggers. So vloggers spend all their time on their own, selfies, videos, YouTube and all that. But for once, every single year, they go all the way to America to be in a conference with other vloggers. And that's because they want to be part of something. So that environment that you've created where you're giving advice and tried and tested tips really helps out. I love that idea. For a lot of people at the minute that's going through, not just the wedding industry, but maybe some resilience or tough times with their business, what would you say would be some great tips in a minute for any business to try and implement a little bit of success? What would you say would be your tips?
I think one of the massive myths about business is that this is something that we call hustle pressure.
I'm so glad you touched on this,
And this is something actually that I have fallen and you have fallen. And I'm sure lots of listeners will 1000% be able to relate to this. And this is this idea out there that we need to work ourselves to the bone, otherwise you are not going to have a successful business.
Why are you watching TV? Why are you not on your laptop at 9 o'clock?
It's like Gary Vee, isn't it?
Yeah,
Gary Vee, hustle, hustle, hustle. It's like,
and I really don't like it. Like, I really don't like it. And I think it's so ingrained in us, like everywhere that you kind of see of success and successful people. And now actually we can feel this kind of pushback where people are now like, we can work smarter. It's not about working harder. It's about working smarter. And this idea of, having it all, well, what is having it all? Like, that's for people to kind of decide for them, and exactly what you just said, what does success mean to us? Now, I would say definitely not like living like that. We really respect the time to pause, and we see that as productive. So, and
it's something we've had to learn as well. So, don't think it's going to come easy, this kind of stopping, taking a step back and pausing, but it's so important.
1000%. Like, I think what kind of happens is that we get interrupted quite a lot in our working day, not only from, we hop on social media to do something on social media, or we're using technology all of the time. So we are being interrupted constantly from emails, from clients, and in those emails there might be things that you don't need to address right now. And quite a lot of it is like discipline, isn't it? Like self-discipline, and that's such a negative word. But we kind of do it like honouring the need to pause, and we kind of try and flip it on its head a little bit, and thinking that stopping is productive. It's very easy to like interrupt your trail of thought when you're doing something, and then I'll just answer that text, or I'll just go and get the washing out of the washing machine, or anything kind of like that. And then your kind of trail of thought or your focus fractures, and it becomes quite difficult to then sit back down and carry on with
what's not productive at all, doing things like that.
So it's like essential to kind of like sit back in your chair, like take a breath, and then gather your thoughts, and then resume the task. And it's so difficult to kind of think about doing that. Now, some of the things that I do that sometimes helps is like I'll think, okay, you know what, I'm closing Facebook, I'm turning off my notifications on my phone, and I need to do this one particular thing, whether it's answer an email for a client, or I need to sit and make a post for social media.
Finish something off, maybe.
Yeah. I will turn off notifications to everything, and I will. Some of the time, I don't even
non-contactable.
Sometimes I don't open Canva on my phone. I kind of open it on my laptop, because I know that if I open it on my phone, the notifications that are sitting there. It's so ingrained in us, isn't it, as psychology, that somebody needs something from us, and we want, even though we know that we don't want to give them that time right now. It's just
reactive, isn't it?
A tiny little bit. So what kind of helps me is kind of turning that off. Sometimes I'll set a time if that kind of helps, and I almost kind of raise the clock. And I'm not actually raising the clock, because quite often I don't even notice that the time has stopped. Like I'll do like one of those, like one of those stand timers. I've got a lovely one. Like
Turn it over,
and you don't even notice. And I do it for my children. I do it at home with my children as well. That they're almost focused on the stand. So I'm like, we'll just watch TV while the stand is going down. And then guess what? We're all engrossed in the film, and we end up having 2 hours out of our day, and we've all enjoyed our time together.
I think it's so important to manage your time like effectively, to kind of, so you can work at the best, of your ability. If it's at a certain time of the day, like for me, like between 2 and 3 o'clock, I have like
productive hour.
No, I have brain fog. I have the opposite. So I know in that hour that I'm not going to do anything that's going to require too much cognitive effort, because it's going to be rubbish. And then I'll look back maybe after tea and go, I could have done that better if I just waited. But it's just about managing your time better.
And playing to your strengths, like 1000%, like exactly what you just said. That's not your time to write good, effective copy.
Because I know I'm going to look back and go, what's that?
But it could be your time to, organise your day for the next day, or organise, your wardrobe for the next morning. And productiveness doesn't have to be measured in burnout and this kind of thought, or I don't know even where it's come from, but I'm sure all of us have felt it at some point.
Yeah. And you're absolutely right, because this is a risk of your health. I think that, strokes, stuff like that is all due to burnouts and stuff. And I've got to quote a good friend of mine, Sam Fitton, who's also a great wedding magician in, I think, the Northwest. Yeah, Northwest, Manchester way. And, he said a long time ago about, putting business hours on your emails. Don't be afraid to do that, because I was very hung up when I first started my business. Oh my God, 9 o'clock at night, an inquiry's got through. I need to answer it. And
it'd be hustling.
Yeah, you'd be like hustling, going, I need to do it, because if I don't reply, then, I might lose it. But at the end of the day, we're human beings as well. So if you had like 9 till 5 as your office hours, and then you had that automated email, that's okay. Don't feel guilty.
1000%. And these are the thoughts that actually, it seems to be, you're in the wedding industry. Could you not just open at 9 p.m?
Yeah.
And yes, at the beginning, yes, but you don't want to be the wedding supplier that is always open at 9 p.m. What do you want to be known for? You want to be known as the best magician in your area, or the best wedding supplier, or the best bridal shop. You don't want to be known as the bridal shop that opens at 9 p.m. at night, or the magician that answers emails at 3 in the morning. And it's very easy to get into that. But a little tip about that.
Yeah.
I think this is something something that people kind of struggle with as well, is that ingrained in us as entrepreneurs, we get to choose our own business hours. And that is so true. That's exactly what Roxy says. Now, so if you're listening to this and thinking, but I want to answer my emails at 9 p.m. at night because that's my most productive hour, you are allowed to do that. That is 1000%. But your client doesn't need to know about that.
Yeah.
So there is a really easy and quick way that you can kind of hop onto your Gmail or your email providers. You can type out your email, whatever you want to send, attach your documents, and then in the bottom,
schedule it in.
You can schedule the send. So it actually doesn't land in their inbox until when you feel that client, so your working hours that are on your website, you're an entrepreneur, you're a business person. It's okay if you do want to get your laptop out at 10 p.m. and work.
Yeah. It's
1000% fine for you to do that. Like it is 1000% fine for you to do that. You just need to take other moments in the day where you allow yourself, you honor the need for your body and your mind to pause.
It's okay to go and put Netflix on for an hour. Just so everybody knows it's all right to do that.
Yeah, it's having that great balance of work and home life, isn't it? Something that I do on mine is that whenever somebody puts an inquiry through on my website, there's two things that happen. One is an automated email that says, hey, I'm just currently out at the minute. I may not be, but if I'm busy on a task or something, I'm not reacting to it. But it says, I usually like to pick up the phone to have a quick chat about your thing. If you have a great time, just email back to me. And then what that does, that puts the ownership to say, okay, well, Ricky might be busy at 10 o'clock at night. You know, he might be sleeping.
Yeah.
But that means he's going to call me back. But it also then sends I also have a thank you video, which is just me, a generic video. Hey, how are you? It's so nice to see you. Thank you so much for getting in touch. I will call you as soon as I can, as soon as I see your email. And that puts that ownership. So let's say if I get that inquiry at 10 o'clock, I thought, nah, I'd much rather watch Netflix tonight. You know, that sounds really horrible, but it's that balance of work and home life, isn't it?
1000%. And you know, what people kind of misinterpret is that why can it not still be marketing? So what you're doing there, that video that you have sent, is also building a relationship with that client. It's not about, I need to be the first person to get back to this.
Yeah.
And there is this ingrained culture, and it's not just happening in our industry. It's happening in other things as well. Like, you'll notice little gripes happen every day, and you know, you might need to contact a company.
Yeah.
But we understand, like, they've got set business hours, so you wouldn't expect Google, if you have an issue with Google, to get back to you in the middle of the night. Like, you know, you would expect them to get back to you within 2 working days. And it's about setting that expectation at the beginning, which you set that expectation at the beginning, and then you followed it up with some marketing. And that's just clever systems that are inside of your business. And this is the kind of stuff that we talk about inside of our community, and we talk about, you know, the things that we
lovely little segue there, Katie. I must say that was a very nice segue to the community. Very good. I like that.
But yeah, in terms of, you know, to take it back to the kind of the success thing that you said, is that it's about being productive.
100%.
Coupling it with the respect for yourself in terms of downtime and rest, and that is also productive.
Yeah. I know that I can tell, like, with my own in my own mind, when I've worked too much and I'm going to burn out soon, because it all gets too much, gets overwhelming. And it's about you need to listen to your body, because it might not happen now, but if you carry on pushing in the future, like you say, it's like health risks are huge. Yeah,
and that's the thing. It's those silent killers. You know, you might be a very healthy person, but that stress and all that worrying stuff. I have to quote someone here who's a lovely, lovely woman called Kirsty Mack, and I can't remember where the quote came from, so apologies for everyone listening. I'll try and get this in the notes. I think it's a famous quote, and it could be the Dalai Lama, I'm not sure, but it talks about when you're doing the dishes, do the dishes. And it's just the idea of, like, if you are just sitting at home, like, let's say, for example, you're doing the dishes, you're not worrying about, I'm going to have to send that inquiry later on. I need to do that, you know. Just focus on yourself, having that time, pause, break. If you're just watching Netflix, just watch Netflix. Don't start focusing on stuff, because that's when that added pressure comes on, going, I've just seen, I'm watching my Netflix. There's an inquiry just coming through. I need to answer that now. No, just relax, because otherwise it just builds up, doesn't it? And that attention, you know. I mean, at 10 o'clock at night, are you productive, really? No, I'm probably shattered at night, you know. So.
I know I'm not.
Yeah.
I am though.
You're a night owl, aren't you? Like all the like good ideas come through at night from Kate.
But then I'll go in the day, and you know, I'll go and do the things that I kind of need to do, like go and get the school uniform ready and do that sort of stuff. And I've learned as well, I am not very productive in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So even though I think I'm being productive in terms of like getting the kids out of the door and all of that, organising my day, I actually spend a lot of time procrastinating and like standing thinking, like you say, not doing the dishes. I'm kind of thinking about other stuff. So in the evening, getting the lunch boxes ready and all of that sort of stuff, I'm at my most productive and I can do it then. And then in the morning, guess what? Like, I can do it in 40 minutes. I'll get up sometimes 2 hours before because I know actually I'm going to watch a little bit of telly and I'm going to make a coffee. But that's okay. Like, that's how, you know, we're all different. And this is what we love at being entrepreneurs, is that we give ourselves the freedom. Like, we set ourselves our own working hours.
Definitely.
And that control thing that you kind of said before, like the onus is on us, isn't it? And there are positives to that. There are massive positives to that.
Well, there's a challenge as well, isn't there, thinking about this, depending if you work in the wedding industry or even you have your own small business. For us, we probably have, it depends on your ideal client as well, but if your clients have a day job, they're probably not going to contact you to the night. So then your challenge would be, so why am I pushing myself so hard 9 till 12 in the day when they're not online? So if you're pushing, like, say, oh my God, I've got to schedule all my social media content today, then if your person's not online until like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night, why are you faffing around putting it out earlier on in the day and stressing about it? So there's that challenge, isn't there? Think about, like you said there, when is your power hours, you know, or the time when you are most productive?
Power hours.
Yeah, power hours. There we go. We'll hashtag that, power hours. So for you, Katie, when it's doing the lunch boxes, for me, I really get my best work out when there's a deadline. So I'm like, UK, if there's not a deadline at all, I'll procrastinate. But if you give me something like by 11 o'clock at night, I need to send this inquiry because I promised the client 11 o'clock, 10 to 11 is when my brain fires up on all cylinders. So if I was doing it at 9 o'clock in the morning, not going to get much work from it, you know. So I love that. Really good tip there. And I guess,
forward planning. And there are those business tools out there to use them. And, you know, they appear really scary. You think, oh no, it's okay. Like, I like replying to clients. Of course, everybody loves replying to clients. There are easier things out there, and there can be, and I'm only saying this because we've definitely felt it, like a little bit of rejection to just kind of move with the times a little bit and to just accept some sort of, like you said, that control, where actually there are business tools out there that are fantastic. Like scheduling changes out the way that we do things massively. Because we then know that there is good quality marketing going out, there's good quality copying going out. We batch our blog writing.
It is about that word discipline, and I know it is a scary word, but
it frees up mind space.
Oh, it does. And how important is mind space? Like, it's just like procrastination, gotta do this, gotta do that.
Yeah.
Batch your time, smash it out.
Yeah.
And look at yourself as well through the eyes that other people look at you through, because we are our worst critics. You know. And I've had to start doing this very recently and actually reminding myself, because, you know, all of the things that I see sometimes, I'll see like, oh, that's not been done, the dishes haven't been done, or like this mess on the floor, and actually, if I step back and look, you would come in and be like, oh, Kate, your house is so tidy. And I'm like, is it?
We are very good at putting up the bad points.
Oh, wait.
Definitely. Yeah. And something that's just rung to mind there, if you think about the example we were saying that 10 o'clock at night, that kind of thing, people are very pressured to reply to because I need the gig, or I need to let them know. If they're a true client that wants you for you, they will wait until the next morning. And that will also separate those customers of price and experience. If they want the experience that you're offering, they will wait. They, you know, if they're just a price budget, then, you know, they may go away, but that's fine, because if they really want you, then they will wait for you, because they'll be happy to, they want to invest in you.
We've all been there in the beginning of our business, and we've taken every inquiry because we thought, where's the next pound coming from? And we've all been there, and people will be able to relate. But, you know, not every client, and we hear this a lot, you know, think about your ideal client. And these words are quite scary to new business owners, like the word networking and things like that. And you know, we do things a little bit differently. But all we're basically saying is, like, flip that on its head a little bit. And, you know, you're not, your ideal client isn't everybody getting married. It's not somebody getting married. You know, is somebody that's going to question you on price, is somebody that's going to message you at midnight and want a response at midnight or at 7 p.m. Is that your ideal client? If it is, fantastic, like, brilliant, fantastic, you've like 1000%. But if it isn't, you've got to set the boundaries in your business and stick to them, because otherwise you are going to attract those people that, and
100%.
we've done it, haven't we? 1000%.
Yeah.
Like, we've done that, been there, and I'm sure, Ricky, you've got experiences as well.
Nodding along.
As to how, and gosh, it's funny because I use our community as much for exactly the same reasons, and so do you, don't we?
Yeah.
Have a little question about something in business.
Can anybody help me, please?
Have a little question about like a tech issue or something.
Here's a tech issue I had recently. When I do Loom recordings for our courses, I'm upside down on my screen. For everything else, I am the right way, and I've still not fixed it. But anyway, our community, can anyone help me? Please.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you know, it takes me back to when I was first doing wedding fairs, where I'd spent 6 or 7 hours away from home, and then that next hour or 2 hours sitting at home was, I've got to reply to everyone to send them all the information I've collected and all that. And it was only until I started to then realize, actually, you know what, I want to just go home and enjoy it. I started to embed those automated processes so that I could capture the information at the wedding fair, send all the information to them there and then when I get home, I can watch Netflix.
And that's it. And it's about also the people at home as well. And, you know, a part of what we do in the culture is we want to go places and feel belonged and talk about experiences.
Yeah.
Now, not all the time we have people in our day-to-day lives, like family, that understand some of the pressures that go along with being self-employed. And also the industry as well.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we kind of build, so that there is somewhere to kind of say, oh, you know,
it's
like,
a safe space where you can come. You don't have to explain the industry or why a bride's doing this, because we already get it.
Or in terms of, oh, you know, going to like first ever wedding fair, like, what do I need to take with me?
Yeah.
You know, the amount of well-meaning advice that I have had from people who work a PAYE job, that have read something about marketing or read something about dropping leaflets, or they've received a leaflet for a window cleaner and think that that's going to work. There is a lot of bad advice out there. There is a lot of bad advice out there that not everything is going to apply to what you are doing in your business. Still, we use it ourselves.
And I think in our community, any question, inquiry, or whatever, there is somebody in there, apart from upside down tech issue.
I know somebody that can fix it though.
That will be able to help. And the posts we see daily with people supporting other people is what I love the most. Honestly, I love to go into community and just see somebody first ever wedding fair, they're kind of my favourite posts. And then
because every business is a story, and every first ever wedding fair, we had somebody that was a photographer and couldn't get into any wedding fairs, and you know, we do this thing called Wedding Win, and we have every Friday we do a wedding win where we say, come and tell us about what's fantastic in your business. And that came about because, I don't know if it's a British thing, but we don't really ever say, when people ask us, how's your business going, Kate?
Oh, it's going all right.
It's going okay. We don't really ever pat ourselves on the back, or even if we have landed a client, or, you know, do you know what? I managed to sort out my landing page today. Over people's heads, whereas actually...
Well, can you imagine if, someone said, how's your week been in your business? And you were like, well, actually, I've nailed 2 clients.
The landing page out.
Boom.
Yeah. And we have just the type of people we are. We have these little. We used to have this culture in House of Oliver where we would celebrate the wins, and we would have we'd have a sale, and we'd have a little happy dance, and we'd have a little I made a sale dance, and we brought that into the culture that we do it at the Wedding Supply Network.
Great,
in terms of here's a space where you can say, I did this in my business. Not always the big things. The big things are amazing as well, but it can also be the tiny things. It can also be, do you know what? I found half an hour where the kids, you know, were quiet, and I managed to send this email that's been pressing. Yeah. And we are here to go, do you know what? We understand, and
we get it.
We get it. And, you know, to kind of finish it on a story, somebody came and said she was a photographer and she was feeling really disheartened. Her name's Leanne, and she was feeling so disheartened that she's a photographer, and everybody knows that photographers get really booked up at wedding fairs, and she was really, really struggling. And she mentioned on one of these posters that she didn't feel like she'd got a win this week, and bam, there's power in people, because half an hour later she had 3 shows booked.
Amazing, brilliant,
area. And that is what we are so, I know we say passion, but it is totally ingrained in us.
Yeah, you're so right. And I love what you were saying there, Roxy, because I think the way we're conditioned as humans about like the wins thing that you were saying, if you were to say to someone, like giving them a comment, oh, Ricky, I watched your match, it was really good. Oh, yeah, I was really good. Thank you. Yeah, that's very kind of you. You would say that I was arrogant. But when you say, oh, Ricky, that was a really good show. Oh, thanks. Yeah, it was all right, wasn't it? Yeah, it wasn't as good as the last show. We bat them away, don't we? It's like, as human beings, we don't really want to accept a compliment because we might be seen as, oh, we're arrogant. But
all right, big head.
Done in the right way. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, absolutely. That's what people think. But
we want you to start looking, at yourselves the way that we look at you. And, this is something that I learn every day as well. And like you said, you introduced us, and I was like, oh, that was so lovely. Like, oh my God, that's amazing. And even still, like you say, it's conditioned. And sometimes I call it like a bit of a diet. Like I have to, put my mental diet back on and go, do you know what? Like when you're in your business, it's so lovely to take a step back and think, you know what? I've achieved some fantastic things and still are achieving some fantastic things in business.
Definitely, yeah. Absolutely. Be proud about it. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we all work hard as, business owners, so why not? Let's not keep pulling up all the bad things. Yeah, everybody's got struggles, but let's start celebrating the wins.
Yeah, 100%.
It's all about.
I love that, Roxy. Yeah, and that's a nice comment. I think I love the whole conversation, because even to people listening right now that isn't in the wedding industry, the whole purpose of what Katie and Roxy have built with this community where you can, find that there'll be loads of communities within whatever sector that you're in. And the tips about time planning and managing your power hours, #power hours, as we were saying, is wonderful. So I guess then, Katie and Roxy, thank you so much for coming on to the show. If people want to find out more, if they actually are in the wedding industry and they want to find out more about what TWISN is, where can they find you?
Okay, so they can find us at TWISN-global.com. You can kind of go over there. If you want to kind of have a little look at some of the tools that we use to kind of help us manage our time and manage what we kind of do in our business, just head over to the resources section. There's so much in there. Come and join our community. Like, honestly, from little videos to kind of pick-me-ups to kind of hints and tips that we've learned along the way, and hints and tips that other people have kind of learned along the way. From people that have been there, done that, walked the shoes that you kind of done. We'd love to have you.
And go check us out on Insta. You can find us at TWISN Global.
Hashtag in, like you say, #power hour. Like, let us know what you do in your power hour.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, great. Get some content on there. Yeah, let TWISN know what are your power hours. Love that. And a shout out here as well, because I am actually part of one of the communities, which is the Rutland and Peterborough, which is hosted by Lucy Brain. So shout out to Lucy, because she does some great stuff in the community as well for Katie and Roxy. So yeah, and also I guess for everyone else as well, you also have a podcast too. What's the name of the podcast and where can people find you?
Our podcast is called The Wed Pro Podcast. You can find it on iTunes and also on Spotify.
Yeah, and
I love our podcast. I love podcasts in general. Like, it's so good to just talking.
You call it good for the soul, don't you?
I was going to say talking. I find it really, really good for my soul. I love it.
Yeah. And it's great as well, because you can, if you're in a hurry, put it on 2 speed or 1.5 speed and listen to like a 40-minute podcast in 20 minutes. So there you go.
We already talk fast, so that's
Oh yeah, that might. Me too. Yeah. So if you listen to this, don't put it on 2 speed.
I'm telling you, it kind of came about from a need of people saying, "Oh, girls, we love your lives,
but we can't work and listen."
We knew that we were taking people away from their business, so we love all these tips that you do. So we were like, right, okay, let's go and put it on a podcast. You put it in the ears and work.
Yeah. Stick it in the car, on the commute, on a jog. Absolutely, yeah. So if we are in your ears right now, we thank you for listening to this. Yeah. So Katie, Roxy, thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure. I think this is the longest podcast as well. I've enjoyed the chat, and good luck for the business and the future. And hopefully we can at an event soon.
You did an amazing job with your podcast, Ricky. Really,
thank you.
Definitely. And thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Take care and good luck. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to another episode of Unlock the Ricky Lock podcast. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it's brought some value in your business. As always, thank you so much for listening and your continued support. If you haven't left a review yet, then head over to Apple Podcasts right now, hit a 5-star rating for me. That would be absolutely amazing. And leave a little review as well. That really will help us out in the podcast charts. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Take care. Goodbye.